Discover 3 real terrifying stories that happened at various McDonald's locations around the world. From ghosts in bathrooms to shadowy figures in the drive-thru, these accounts will change your view of McDonald's. Nights at the McDonald's in a small town were routinely calm, with a steady flow of customers until closing time. The staff, mostly young students, enjoyed the quiet hours to organize the place and prepare everything for the next day. The routine was predictable, serving the few late-night customers, cleaning the kitchen, and organizing the inventory. The employees knew each other well and formed a close-knit group, making the work environment pleasant. However, in recent months, some employees began reporting a strange and uncomfortable feeling, as if they were being watched. This feeling, although subtle, created an atmosphere of unease that contrasted with the apparent normalcy of the night shift. McDonald's, a world-famous fast food chain, is known for its iconic hamburgers and being a safe place for families and young people. However, like many large chains, it also had its dark secrets. There are reports of mysterious events in various locations around the world, from inexplicable apparitions to paranormal incidents that were ignored or covered up. These events rarely came to light. The particular unit, though popular and successful, began showing signs of something strange. The employees, though skeptical, couldn't ignore the small incidents that began accumulating, putting everyone on alert. John, a 22-year-old who worked at McDonald's while attending college, was known for his good humor and positive attitude. He was a constant and welcome presence among his colleagues. Always smiling and ready to help, John was the type of person who could keep spirits high, even on the longest and most tiring nights. He was liked by everyone and was known for making jokes and creating a relaxed atmosphere. Despite his optimistic attitude, John was also skeptical about anything supernatural. He firmly believed that everything had a logical explanation and was quick to dismiss ghost stories or paranormal events as products of imagination. John led a busy life, dividing his time between studies and working at McDonald's. His responsibilities included serving customers, training new employees, and ensuring everything was in order. He enjoyed the job, mainly because it allowed him to interact with people of all ages and backgrounds. John took advantage of these interactions to learn more about people and their stories, which he found fascinating. During the day, the restaurant was a busy and lively place. But at night, especially in the last hours of operation, the atmosphere changed. It was in this silence and tranquility that John began to feel that something was wrong, although he did not yet know what. During the day, the restaurant was always full, with families, students, and local workers lining up for their favorite meals. The constant flow of people made the atmosphere lively and vibrant. However, even with the constant activity, employees began noticing small peculiarities. Sometimes items in the inventory seemed to move by themselves or mysteriously disappear, only to be found in unusual places. These events were initially considered distractions or employee errors. But as the occurrences became more frequent, the discomfort grew. Still, no one suspected that something truly terrifying was coming. Traditionally, the restaurant closed its doors at 11 p.m. Closing was a time of relief for employees who could rest and prepare for the next day. The closing routine included a series of tasks: cleaning the kitchen, checking the inventory, and closing the register. It was a well-coordinated and efficient process led by John and other experienced employees. Despite the calm routine, there was a certain anxiety about closing time. Some employees reported feeling a strange atmosphere and a slight tension in the air as the end of the shift approached, but this was generally ignored or minimized. Noticing the increasing number of customers arriving late at night, the restaurant owner began considering the possibility of operating 24 hours. He believed this change could significantly increase profits. The owner, a shrewd businessman, saw an opportunity to capitalize on the high demand. He began studying the financial and logistical feasibility of the change, discussing concerns with managers and employees. After much deliberation, he decided the change was viable and could bring great benefits to the business. He then began negotiations with the corporate headquarters to obtain permission to extend the operating hours. Engagement with the audience. If you're enjoying this story and want to know what happens next, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. That way, you won't miss any details of what's coming, and you'll help us keep bringing you more scary stories like this one. So, leave your like and comment on what you would do if you were in John's place. Come on, subscribe and be part of this community of horror story fans. After obtaining permission from the headquarters, The McDonald's owner began preparing the team and the restaurant for the new operating hours. This involved hiring new employees and reorganizing work schedules. Various adjustments were made to ensure the restaurant could operate efficiently during the night. This included installing new security cameras and extra lighting for the exterior areas. Expectations were high among the staff and the owner, all curious to see what the night shift would be like. However, few were prepared for the events that would soon unfold. With the ambition to increase revenue, the owner did not expect the new operating hours to bring problems. He was focused on the numbers and financial benefits without considering other factors. The thirst for profit led to important details being neglected, especially the strange sensations and events previously reported by employees. These signs were ignored as irrelevant or imaginary. This negligence would prove to be a critical mistake. The decision to open 24 hours not only increased the staff's stress, but also seemed to intensify the inexplicable events that had been happening. As closing time approached, some employees began to notice a sense of unease and discomfort. The air felt heavier, and the sensation of being watched became more palpable. These feelings were often discussed among the employees, but always with a dose of skepticism. Many attributed these sensations to fatigue or an overactive imagination during long nights of work. However, for some, these sensations were impossible to ignore. The tension in the air became almost suffocating, and the atmosphere in the restaurant changed perceptibly, becoming darker and more oppressive. Finally, after months of preparation and adjustments, McDonald's began operating 24 hours. The first night was marked by a mix of excitement and nervousness, both among employees and customers. At first, everything seemed to be going well. The flow of customers during the early morning was steady but not overwhelming. The team quickly adapted to the new rhythm, and the night routine began to settle. However, as weeks passed, employees began to notice an increase in strange incidents. Small occurrences that were once sporadic now became more frequent and intense. During the first few weeks, the night operation seemed successful. The store maintained a good flow of customers, and the team was efficient and well organized. Despite the small incidents, most employees continued to perform their duties normally. The feeling that something was wrong still lingered, but it wasn't enough to cause widespread alarm. John, maintaining his skeptical stance, attributed the reports of strange events to fatigue and stress. He tried to keep morale high and minimize any talk of the subject so as not to scare his colleagues. As time passed, paranormal phenomena intensified. Lights flickering for no reason, doors closing by themselves, and objects moving became common events. These events began to cause real discomfort among the employees. Some even reported cold touches or hearing whispers, even when alone in the restaurant. The feeling that something supernatural was present became impossible to ignore. The team began to seriously discuss the possibility of a haunting. Although there was still much skepticism and reluctance to believe, one of the most disturbing events occurred at the drive-thru. On a seemingly ordinary night, an employee saw a shadowy figure through the security camera. The figure, indistinct and almost translucent, appeared briefly on the screen before disappearing. The employee, shocked, reviewed the footage, but the image was blurred and did not reveal clear details. This sighting generated a wave of fear and speculation among the employees. Some began to believe they were dealing with something more serious than a simple equipment failure or an overactive imagination. Despite the increasing reports of strange activities, many employees, including John, maintained a skeptical stance. They sought logical explanations for the events, such as technical failures or pranks by colleagues. Discussions about what was happening became common during night shifts. While some firmly believed in a supernatural presence, others tried to debunk these rumors with rational arguments. John, in particular, refused to believe in anything supernatural. He insisted that everything could be explained logically, and that the reports were just exaggerations or results of an altered emotional state. John, with his positive and rational attitude, was a pillar of normalcy for his colleagues. He made an effort to keep the environment light, even as reports of strange events intensified. To John, everything had a plausible explanation. The flickering lights could be due to electrical problems, and the objects moving on their own were just a result of inattentiveness or drafts. His reluctance to accept anything supernatural served to calm his colleagues, but also made him blind to the growing evidence that something was very wrong in the restaurant. The turning point came one night when John, needing a moment of rest, went to the bathroom. As he washed his hands, he felt a presence behind him, but when he looked in the mirror, he saw something that left him paralyzed with fear. In the mirror's reflection, a shadowy and indistinct figure appeared behind him. The figure's face was partially visible, with dark and empty eyes that seemed to look directly at him. John quickly turned around, but there was no one there. Panic took hold of him, and he ran out of the bathroom, his heart racing and a feeling that everything he believed was being challenged. Engagement with the audience. And now, what will happen? John finally saw with his own eyes what so many have reported. Want to know more about this story and what happens next? Don't miss the second part of this scary story. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any details. Leave your like and share your theories in the comments. Stay tuned because the story is far from over. Get ready for the unexpected and come discover the conclusion to this dark mystery in the next video. The Play Place is a colorful and vibrant area within the restaurant, designed to provide fun and safety for children. It is equipped with slides, a ball pit, and various climbing areas. This space is known for its cheerful atmosphere and is a popular gathering spot for families. During the day, the Play Place is full of laughter and play, with children of all ages enjoying the facilities. Parents often accompany their children, relaxing while watching them play. The area is kept clean and organized by the restaurant staff, ensuring a welcoming and safe environment. In recent months, however, rumors of strange events occurring in the Play Place began to surface. While most reports were vague, some parents and children mentioned things like toys appearing to move on their own and an unexplained presence. Management initially downplayed these reports, attributing them to children's fertile imaginations. Children started talking about a strange friend who would mysteriously appear and disappear during their play. They described him as a peculiar-looking boy who seemed to come out of nowhere, join their play briefly, and then vanish without a trace. Employees began to notice toys moved from their usual places and inexplicable sounds like distant laughter or soft footsteps when the Play Place was empty. These incidents, though sporadic, started to cause discomfort among the staff. Some parents, upon hearing their children's stories, became concerned and reported the occurrences to the restaurant's management. However, these concerns were quickly dismissed as mere coincidences or the result of active imaginations. Alex, the new employee in charge of the Play Place, was recently hired to ensure the safety and smooth operation of the play area. Young and enthusiastic, Alex quickly became popular among the children and their parents due to his charismatic personality and attention to detail. Alex had a particular fondness for working with children and always strived to ensure everyone had a fun and safe experience. He was seen as a friendly and reliable figure, capable of resolving any small issues that arose in the Play Place. Initially, Alex didn't give much importance to the rumors of hauntings. Skeptical by nature, he believed that all the stories could be explained logically and was determined to prove this, both to himself and to the other employees. Alex's daily routine included greeting families, ensuring safety rules were followed, and keeping the space clean and organized. He often interacted with the children, helping them with their play and ensuring everyone felt included. His popularity grew rapidly, with many parents praising his dedication and attentiveness. Alex became a fundamental part of the Play Place experience, known for his easy smile and willingness to help. However, small strange events began to catch his attention. Toys he was sure he had put away appeared out of place, and he heard sounds he couldn't explain. Despite trying to ignore or rationalize these occurrences, an unsettling feeling began to set in. Children loved the Play Place, where they could run freely, slide, and play in the ball pit. The space was a haven of fun and laughter, and the innocence of play was a constant feature. Favorite activities included the large spiral slide, which always caused excitement, and the colorful ball pit, where children could dive and hide. The Play Place was a place where children's imaginations soared, and everyone was welcome. For the children, the Play Place was always a place of joy, and they never noticed anything wrong or strange. The atmosphere of innocence and happiness dominated the space, masking any signs that something unusual might be happening. The restaurant closed at 11 p.m., but the Play Place ended its activities an hour earlier to allow for cleaning and organization of the space. Alex was responsible for this task, which included disinfecting toys, organizing materials, and ensuring everything was ready for the next day. The cleaning process was usually peaceful and uneventful. Alex ensured that the space was safe and ready for the next morning when it would once again be filled with laughter and play. Until then, Alex had never encountered problems during the Play Place's closing time. However, Recent rumors and the small, strange events he began to notice made the environment more tense and filled with anticipation. Alex started noticing toys inexplicably out of place. Dolls and balls he had carefully stored were scattered when he returned to check the area. He initially attributed this to his own inattentiveness or the children's activities, but the frequency of the incidents began to bother him. In addition to the moved toys, Alex heard strange sounds while cleaning the play place, like whispers or muffled laughter. These sounds seemed to come from empty places and disappeared when he tried to locate them. He wondered if the noises could be caused by ventilation or some technical explanation, but nothing seemed to fully explain what he was hearing. Alex also noticed that some toys appeared dirty or stained for no apparent reason, despite being regularly cleaned. He began to wonder if something else was happening, something he couldn't see or explain. Even so, he tried to rationalize the events as coincidences or perception errors. If you're enjoying this story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any scary updates. Leave your like and share your theories in the comments. After the initial strange experiences, the play place went weeks without any incidents. The routine returned to normal, with children playing happily and Alex performing his usual tasks. The calm seemed to confirm for Alex that the previous events could have been mere coincidences. However, the feeling that something was wrong never completely left him. Alex continued to wonder if there was something more going on, something he couldn't see. He felt torn between relief at not having more disturbing experiences and a persistent curiosity about what might be behind the incidents. The uncertainty about what was happening began to weigh on Alex. He found himself thinking about the strange events even outside of work, and doubt started to creep into his mind. The apparent normalcy was not enough to erase the feeling that there was more to the play place. Alex's curiosity grew, and he began to reflect more on the strange events he had witnessed. He wondered if there could be a logical explanation he was not seeing, or if there was really something supernatural at the play place. Alex started paying more attention to his surroundings, noticing small details and changes that might go unnoticed by others. He noted the times, weather conditions, and any other factors that could be related to the events, trying to find a pattern or explanation. Despite his skepticism, the feeling that something was wrong continued to grow. Alex felt he was on the brink of an important discovery, but didn't know what to look for or how to interpret the clues he had. His mind was divided between the desire to solve the mystery and the fear of what he might find. Alex had always been a skeptical person, believing that everything had a logical explanation. He considered ghost stories and hauntings to be products of imagination or misunderstandings. For him, the supernatural was something reserved for movies and books, not real life. However, the inexplicable events he witnessed began to challenge his beliefs. More and more, Alex found himself struggling to find rational explanations that fit the occurrences. The lack of a clear answer left him uneasy, shaking his confidence in his own judgment. Doubt began to erode Alex's skepticism, making him question if there might be more between heaven and earth than he was willing to admit. This change in perspective made him uncomfortable, but also more determined to discover the truth. Alex began hearing more reports from children about toys appearing dirty or out of place. The children described strange scenes, like fallen dolls or balls rolling on their own, without anyone touching them. These reports, though simple, began to form a disturbing pattern. He tried to investigate the origins of these reports, talking to parents and other employees, but no one seemed to have a clear explanation. Some children mentioned that the strange friend was involved, but their descriptions were vague and inconsistent. Alex began to feel that he was dealing with something beyond simple childish imagination. The inability to find a logical explanation for these incidents began to weigh on Alex. He considered the possibility that the toys were being moved by invisible forces, something that went against everything he believed. The situation began to shake his confidence in his ability to understand and control his surroundings. One night, while closing the play place, Alex heard children's voices, even though he knew the place was empty. The voices were clear but indecipherable, like whispers or muffled laughter. He stopped what he was doing and looked around, but found no one. The experience became even more disturbing when Alex noticed the balls in the pit moving on their own, as if someone were playing in them. He approached cautiously, hoping to find an explanation, but the pit was empty. The movement stopped as suddenly as it had started, leaving Alex in a state of shock. These occurrences increased Alex's fear and confusion. He tried to rationalize what he saw and heard, but logical explanations eluded him. The experience reinforced his sense that something inexplicable was happening at the play place, something he could not control or fully understand. As strange events accumulated, Alex began to seriously question his skeptical beliefs. He wondered if he was deceiving himself by trying to rationalize everything, ignoring the possibility that something truly supernatural might be happening. This crisis of belief left him restless and unsure of how to proceed. Alex felt torn between the need to maintain a rational perspective and the growing feeling that something more was at play. His internal struggle reflected in his actions and interactions, making him more reserved and introspective. The dilemma Alex faced was not just about what he believed, but about his identity and how he dealt with the unknown. The experience forced him to reevaluate his worldview and consider possibilities he had previously dismissed without a second thought. In the following week, the play place experienced a period of calm with no strange incidents. This unexpected tranquility left Alex on edge, waiting for something to happen at any moment. The silence seemed to foretell something, increasing his anxiety. Despite the temporary relief, Alex couldn't fully relax. He was always on the lookout for the next inexplicable event, which made him tense and distracted. The absence of strange activities only intensified his feeling that something was about to happen. The uncertainty about what was to come heightened his frustration and confusion. Alex knew he needed to do something to understand and possibly resolve what was happening, but he didn't know where to start. The pause in incidents rather than bringing peace only exacerbated his discomfort. One day, a child playing alone in the ball pit told Alex they felt a hand pulling their legs while they were submerged in the balls. The child was visibly disturbed, and Alex realized that the report was different from a simple made-up story. Alex initially tried to calm the child, suggesting it could have been their imagination or a strange sensation caused by the balls. However, the seriousness and fear in the child's eyes made him reconsider. He began to wonder if there was something truly sinister happening at the play place. The child's report deeply affected Alex, reviving his fears and doubts. He couldn't ignore the possibility that something supernatural was occurring, something beyond his understanding and control. The experience left him even more determined to uncover the truth, despite his growing fear. The following night, Alex went to work with a growing sense of fear. The child's story had affected him more than he cared to admit, and he couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong at the play place. The once familiar and cheerful environment now seemed filled with tension and anticipation. The fear of the unknown began to take hold of Alex, affecting his confidence and clarity of thought. He felt constantly on alert, expecting something strange to happen at any moment. This constant sense of anticipation began to wear down his usual calm and composure. Alex tried to maintain a facade of normalcy, but inside he was in turmoil. Fear and doubt were becoming constant companions, and he knew he needed to find a way to deal with these feelings before they consumed him completely. On a quiet night, while making the final inspection rounds in the play place, Alex had a direct encounter with the entity causing the strange events. Turning a corner, he saw the figure of a boy standing next to the ball pit, looking directly at him. The sight was shocking and left Alex paralyzed with fear. The boy had an ethereal appearance, as if out of place and time. Before Alex could react, the figure vanished, leaving only a cold sensation in the air. The encounter was brief but impactful, confirming to Alex that something truly inexplicable was happening. The emotional impact of the encounter was profound. Alex felt a mix of fear, confusion, and a strange sense of understanding. He knew he had witnessed something real and undeniable, something that challenged all his previous beliefs. This moment marked a turning point in his perception of the play place and himself. What will happen next? Alex finally saw something inexplicable. Don't miss the continuation of this story. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Leave your comment and share your theories about what might be happening at the play place. The McDonald's, one of the busiest and most popular restaurants in the city, is known for its welcoming atmosphere and quick service. Located in a central area, the restaurant attracts a diverse clientele, from families to workers on their lunch breaks. The restaurant's bathroom, though seemingly ordinary, is a space that goes unnoticed by most customers. Clean and well lit, it is a functional place that serves the basic purpose of all public restrooms. However, rumors began to circulate among the staff about strange events occurring in the bathroom. These rumors were initially ignored or treated with skepticism, but started to gain traction as more people reported unusual experiences. Employees and customers began to report feelings of discomfort and a strange sensation of being watched when entering the bathroom. Some described a sudden drop in temperature, accompanied by a chill. Small incidents started to be noticed, such as faucets turning on by themselves and lights flickering for no apparent reason. These phenomena, although subtle, were enough to unsettle those who experienced them. Management initially dismissed the reports, attributing them to technical issues or maintenance failures. Although some employees remained uncomfortable, the priority was to maintain focus on the restaurant's daily operations. Emily, a new employee who recently started working at McDonald's, was introduced as practical and dedicated. Young and skeptical about supernatural stories, Emily stood out for her efficiency and professionalism. Although aware of the rumors about the bathroom, Emily considered them to be exaggerations or jokes. She approached the situation with humor and didn't believe there was anything supernatural involved. However, Emily began to pay more attention to the reports and experiences shared by her colleagues, especially since part of her responsibilities included maintaining and cleaning the bathroom. Emily's work routine included various tasks, from attending to customers to maintaining the restaurant. One of her responsibilities was ensuring the bathroom was clean and stocked, a task she performed meticulously. Emily quickly integrated into the team, forming good relationships with other employees. She became known for her diligence and for maintaining a positive attitude, even when challenges arose. During her first visits to clean the bathroom, Emily began to feel a slight discomfort, a sensation she initially dismissed as a result of fatigue or being alone in an enclosed space. While cleaning, Emily noticed some items were out of place, such as toilet paper scattered on the floor and mirrors inexplicably fogged up. These small details began to catch her attention, although she did not yet associate them with anything supernatural. Emily also heard strange noises, like light footsteps and whispers, which seemed to come from inside the bathroom when she was alone. Though unsettling, she initially rationalized these sounds as building noises or water pipes. Over time, the feeling of being watched began to intensify. Emily felt a chill and a slight shiver every time she entered the bathroom. Despite this, she continued to rationalize these experiences as products of her fertile imagination. Reports of strange experiences in the bathroom started coming not only from employees, but also from customers. Some described feeling cold touches on their backs or seeing shadows quickly passing by the mirrors. These reports fueled rumors among the staff and customers, who began speculating about what might be happening. Despite this, management continued to downplay the reports, attributing them to collective hysteria or technical issues. The insistence on ignoring the phenomena only increased curiosity and discomfort among the employees. Emily, in particular, began to pay more attention to details and consider that there might be something strange in the bathroom. As time passed, the strange events in the bathroom began to intensify. Faucets turned on by themselves more frequently, lights flickered continuously, and in one particularly disturbing incident, a mirror shattered seemingly without cause. Emily and other employees started to avoid entering the bathroom, especially alone. The feeling of discomfort became almost palpable, and many reported feeling an invisible presence while there. Discussions about the possibility of the bathroom being haunted became more frequent. Although some employees remained skeptical, most began to believe that something inexplicable was happening. Enjoying this story? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next episode of this intriguing series. Leave your like and share your supernatural experiences in the comments. Since childhood, Emily dreamed of working at McDonald's, a symbol of happiness and safety for her. Growing up, she always saw the restaurant as a dream place where she could be part of a great team and bring joy to people. However, Emily also had small experiences of clairvoyance and conversations with spirits when she was younger, experiences she always kept secret. She remembered talking to invisible friends that her family dismissed as childhood imagination. These past experiences began to resonate with current events, making Emily question whether her senses were once again awakening to the paranormal. The possibility that her psychic abilities were resurfacing left her uneasy and unsure of what to do next. Determined to understand what was happening, Emily began to investigate on her own. She spoke with older employees, asking if anyone had experienced something similar in the bathroom. The reports from older employees were varied. Some had never seen anything, while others mentioned that customers sometimes commented on strange events, especially when Emily was present. These reports began to convince Emily that there was a connection between her and the phenomena. The idea that her psychic abilities could somehow be influencing the events in the bathroom left Emily feeling torn between fear and curiosity. She wanted to understand, but also feared what she might discover. Emily began to strongly suspect that her abilities to contact spirits and the deceased were resurfacing. The idea made her nervous, as she had never dealt directly with these abilities since childhood. She felt increasingly connected to the paranormal events in the bathroom, as if there was a silent communication between her and the presence inhabiting the space. Emily was determined to find out what was happening, but uncertainty about her capabilities left her uneasy. The possibility of having to deal with the supernatural so directly was overwhelming. Emily didn't know if she was ready to face this part of herself or the possible consequences of such a discovery. Emily decided to intensify her search for answers, delving deeper into the restaurant's and the location's history. She looked for information about the property and any past incidents that could explain the current phenomena. Despite her efforts, Emily found few conclusive details. Frustration began to grow as she felt on the brink of a discovery, but lacked the necessary clarity to understand what was happening. The lack of concrete evidence only increased her anxiety. Emily was increasingly convinced that there was a connection between her and the events, but without a clear explanation, she didn't know how to proceed. Surprisingly, after the escalation of phenomena, another 2 weeks passed without any strange incidents. The restaurant's routine returned to normal, and Emily began to question whether everything had been a figment of her imagination or coincidence. The absence of paranormal activities made Emily start to relax and feel more secure. She refocused on her work, pushing away disturbing thoughts and trying to maintain a practical perspective. Even so, a small part of Emily remained vigilant, waiting for something to happen again. The apparent normalcy wasn't enough to erase the experiences and doubts that had arisen. As time passed without new incidents, Emily began to forget the strange events and focus on her work. She felt happier and more content, finally enjoying her dream job at McDonald's. The daily routine brought a sense of normalcy and safety, and Emily began to believe that maybe everything was finally fine. She dedicated herself to improving her performance and building good relationships with colleagues and customers. Life at the restaurant seemed to have returned to normal, and Emily was determined to leave the past behind and focus on the present. However, a small inner voice still warned her to stay alert. Suddenly, the tranquility was interrupted when a customer ran out of the bathroom, visibly terrified. The woman was in shock, unable to speak about what had happened. The scene caused a stir among those present, who immediately sought to help the customer. Management, alarmed by the woman's condition, decided to temporarily close the restaurant and call an ambulance. The customer was taken to the hospital, and the team was shaken and perplexed, trying to understand what could have caused such a reaction. The incident created an atmosphere of fear and uncertainty in the restaurant. Employees began discussing what could be happening in the bathroom, and the rumors of haunting gained new strength. Not knowing exactly what had happened, Emily entered the bathroom to investigate. What she found left her in shock. All the walls of the bathroom were covered with the word "hotel" written in blood. The scene was terrifying and disturbing, something Emily never expected to see. The discovery was a devastating blow for Emily, who was paralyzed with fear and disbelief. She couldn't understand how or why someone would do something like this, and the sight left her emotionally shaken. The situation required immediate action, and Emily knew she needed to alert others. She quickly left the bathroom, still trembling, and went to inform management and colleagues about what she had found. Upon hearing Emily's account, the other employees were terrified and confused. They gathered to check the bathroom and were equally impacted by what they saw. The sight of the bloody words left everyone in a state of shock and fear. Management decided to close the bathroom and start an investigation, calling in specialists to analyze the scene and try to determine what had happened. The possibility of a haunting or deliberate malicious act was discussed among the staff. The incident marked a turning point in the restaurant, where the previously familiar and safe atmosphere transformed into a tense and uncertain environment. The team and customers were now aware that something much more disturbing was happening. Management decided to keep the bathroom closed until a thorough investigation could be conducted. Experts were called in to analyze the scene and determine if there was any danger or if the event had a rational explanation. The staff and customers were anxious and apprehensive, fearing what else could happen. News of the incident spread, increasing curiosity and fear among those who frequented the restaurant. The atmosphere at McDonald's became charged with tension and speculation. Everyone awaited answers, but until the investigation was complete, the true nature of what was happening remained a mystery. What is really happening in the McDonald's bathroom? To find out more, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Leave your comments and theories below, and stay tuned for the next part of this terrifying story.